Hey, I'm Jessica, and welcome to Reality Check. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode where I check off your list with Love Island, the finale, and all of my thoughts on the finale. Oh my gosh, we made it 6 weeks later. Every single episode later, 30 episodes to be exact, we are here. It is the finale. And I just have to say this. I am really proud of myself. The fact that I stuck with this show and recapped every single episode. I think going into it, it was definitely very daunting. And during it, it was equally as daunting. It was a lot, right? Like there's 6 episodes a week. And you know, when you're recording, like you have to stay on top of it. You can't just wait a full week and record, I don't know, a whole slew of things. I guess you could, but then what you're saying isn't really relevant anymore at all because things change so quickly in the show. So I was finding myself doing 3 episodes a week, which I obviously didn't necessarily plan for, but I figured it out and I did it. And so I am honestly really proud of myself that I stuck it through. I think after Love Island, not that I'm, taking a break by any means, but I'm definitely taking a break from the 3 episodes a week. I feel like I need to figure out what shows I really, really want to talk about, because the problem with summer reality television is there's a lot. There is so much reality television out there. And I mean, a lot of competition reality to be exact, right? We have Bachelor in Paradise, we have Big Brother, we have The Challenge. I know Perfect Match is starting. There's Love Island Games. I think that's starting in September, but there's that. Not that I would ever recap Love Island UK because there's double the episodes of Love Island UK, but there's Love Island UK. There's the After the Sun show. Like, there is so many shows. There's The Valley. Like, there's so many shows, and it gets to a point, at least for me, where it's like, okay, I need to pick and choose, right? I can't talk about every single show. It's very difficult, for me at least, to commit to watching every single one of those shows and recapping it because, again, like there's only so much that you can do. There are podcasts that watch so many different shows and talk about them, but a lot of those, they do it daily. And so anyways, it's just something that I'm trying to really figure out what makes the most sense for me to talk about. Like, yeah, I love Big Brother. I've said on this podcast that Big Brother is my favorite reality show, but does it make sense for me to talk about on the podcast? Maybe, I don't know. So it's something that I'm just trying to figure out on my end, but I definitely will be talking about After Sun. Is that, no, it's not called After Sun. What's the one called? Oh, Beyond the Villa. Oh my gosh. Beyond the Villa. I'm definitely going to be talking about that because I've heard it started off really strong. Again, I'm behind. I haven't watched it because Love Island has literally taken up my entire life this past 6 weeks. So anyways, needless to say, that's just a little update on that. And I actually watched the finale at a watch party. And I'll tell a little funny story. So I was so excited to go to this watch party. It was hosted by Crave, so it was like pretty big. Like Crave was hosting it, and if you don't know what Crave is like an equivalent to Hulu, I guess that's in the US, but for Canada. And it was at Rendezvous, and Rendezvous is like the one place in Toronto that it can hold 1,500 people, and it's just like this big giant space outdoors, and it has one giant TV screen and you just watch it. And I've attended viewing parties before. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it a viewing party, but when the Leafs were in the playoffs, I've gone there. And yeah, of course it gets busy, but not this busy. Wow, Love Island, it's crazy. The amount of people that showed up to watch the finale, like I was blown away. Doors opened at 7. I should have known better. I got there right at 7, but I was like, the show doesn't start until 9. So I was like, we'll be fine even if we get in at 8 or whatever it is. Like, yeah, maybe there'll be a little line, but I did not expect what I actually came to witness. It was crazy. And let's just put it this way. Capacity was 1,500 people. My friend and I waited in line for about an hour and a half. By 8:30, they had reached capacity. We were still waiting outside, and I want to say there was probably maybe just shy of 100 people ahead of us still to get in. And basically, the bouncer was like, it's like a one-on-one basis right now. If someone leaves, then the next person gets in. That's how you're going to get in. And so he's like, I can't guarantee that you're going to get in, but you can, but maybe not. So me and my friend are like, we look at each other and we're like, what do we do? Like, she came all the way from Newmarket, which is like an hour away from Toronto. So we needed to find something to do. We needed to find another watch party. And I knew there were a bunch going on in Toronto, but I didn't know what to expect, right? Am I going to go to another one and there's going to be another massive line? So we ended up finding one literally like the next door over, and you know, it was indoors, which was nice because it's so humid right now here. So we were in the comfort of AC. We had like front row seats essentially. It was just at a bar. So it worked out. It was fun. Honestly though, this place though that we went to had zero clue what to expect. Because first of all, I don't think any of the workers ever watched Love Island a day in their life. They had absolutely no idea. So when we walked in there, the episode 29 was playing. And then obviously you would think, okay, right at 9 o'clock, the episode 30 is going to start. Well, this random movie, I can't even remember, The Sinner, I think it was called The Sinner, comes on. And everyone's like, what the heck? Like, what is this? What are we watching? And I mean, we're Canadian, so I'm sorry, but like, everyone was just so nice about it. No one really said anything. Like, no, and it's, you know, predominantly female in there, so it's not like people are gonna like scrap or anything. And about 10 minutes in, my friend goes up to the waiter and she's like, hey, like, are you guys playing the finale? And she was like, the waiter was like, oh, I think this is just a commercial. And my friend is like, no, it's a movie. So anyways, then they didn't have Crave downloaded on the TV. Needless to say, we didn't start watching the finale until 9:30, which was a full 30 minutes after everyone else had. So when they crowned the winner, we were still watching, I don't know, their dates or whatever. So anyways, a little hiccup there, but it's fine. And I mean, I think the biggest thing to come out of that night, at least for me, was I had a video go viral. I posted, like I said, the lineup was absolutely insane. It was like block after block after block. There was a lineup. I couldn't believe my eyes. And when I was in line, like kind of, like I said, near the front, I said to my friend, I was like, I feel like I want to take a video of this. Like, I feel like this would be good. So I didn't even go all the way to the back of the line. Like, put that into perspective. The video that I posted isn't even at the very back of the line. I was just like, okay, here we'll do. And I walked. The actual video was 1.5 minutes long. So, and I didn't stop. Like, I kept walking. So again, put that into perspective of I walked 1.5 minutes long. That's how long the line was. And I posted it onto my TikTok and it went viral. And I had Toronto TikTok accounts, Instagram accounts reaching out to me that they wanted to post the video, and obviously they give me credit. 6buzz entered the DMs, which was insane. If you know 6buzz, they are basically, if you live in Toronto, you just know. And actually, I don't know if, 6buzz, 6, so it is Toronto based. There's over 2 million followers that they have on Instagram. Like, if 6buzz posts your content, like, that's huge. So they posted my reel on both Instagram and TikTok. Another Instagram account posted my reel and they collabed with me, and that is over, like, all of these videos are like, the 6buzz one is at like 600K. TikTok, my personal TikTok is at over 100K. Like, this, like, for some people, oh, like, that's nothing. But for me, who has been like really just putting in the work since January and putting out content, and for me personally, I'm trying to find my niche, right? Like, yes, reality television, but what truly, again, I know I'm going off topic with actually talking about reality TV, but I find this stuff interesting. Like, what truly is my niche? What makes me stand out from everyone? And so this kind of was like really eye-opening, because it's it's Toronto based, right? It's, wow, like, look what's going on in Toronto, and it's captured by someone that, you know, I don't like calling myself a podcaster because I'm not a full-time podcaster, but like a podcaster from Toronto. Look at the content that they took. So, and it's interesting because my top 3 performing reels, or I guess TikToks, are all Toronto content. So my wheels are turning. I just find it so fascinating, and it really put into perspective how the type of content that I should put out there and how I can approach things going forward. So anyways, super interesting. I was so excited. Finally, something popped off, but the fact that 6buzz entered the DMs, and everyone, so many people asked me, like, did they reach out to you? Did they just take your video? No, like, everyone that reposted my video, every single one of them asked me if they could, and I absolutely said, yes, please, please. Like, and they all said, like, I'll give you credit, no problem, like, please. So anyways, I thought that was super cool. So anyways, like I said, I watched the viewing party at a bar. So guess what? I got no notes. I have 0 notes for today's podcast, but you know what? 30 episodes later of recapping Love Island, I think I can do it. I think I can do it raw. I think I can do it off the cuff. So let's get into it. But before I get into the finale, I do first, because I want to touch upon the Ace and Chelley situation. I honestly was actually liking Ace and Chelley near the end. Like, I would say the last 2 episodes of them, when they went into the hideaway, when Ace closed things off with Chelley, I honestly was like, okay, like, they do deserve to be here, regardless if I think that Ace has ulterior motives. I still don't know what I think about it, but I just was like, they deserve to be here. Out of all the couples that have come and gone, they are OGs. They have been with each other since kind of the beginning. They knew each other outside of the villa. Like, there's a whole thing with Ace and Chelley. So I was like, okay, even though I don't think they deserve to win, I didn't want them to win, I definitely thought that they deserved to be in the finale. So the fact that they got voted out by America, again, like, America, what on earth were you guys thinking? I don't understand. And, you know, this just goes to show it's the curse of the close off. Every single couple this season that closed off got voted out either the same day or the next day. You had Nick and Cierra, which, again, like, she left the villa for a whole other reason, but still, they closed things off. The next day, she's gone. You have Taylor and Clarke. They close things off. The next day, they're gone. Ace and Chelley close things off that same night. They're gone. So, I mean, it's wild to me, and it's honestly frustrating with the way the voting has gone. I honestly, like, as bad as this sounds, I'm kind of like, producers, can you manipulate the vote? Because, like, this just isn't fair. They deserve to be there over Chris and Huda, who literally hate each other and who broke up in the finale. Like, we've never seen anything like that before. 2 people that literally hate each other in the finale. It's crazy. So I felt bad that they left. And I mean, look, they're leaving the villa. They have, I'm sure, massive opportunities, brand opportunities. They'll be fine, Ace and Chelley. But I think when you just think about Love Island in general, what the show is all about. The show is literally to form a connection, to form not even a relationship, but to form a connection, to find someone that you enjoy spending your time with over the course of your time at the villa. And that's what Ace and Chelley did. And I don't know what production is going to do for the next season. I don't know how they can combat these new viewers and just the way that they have approached voting in general. I think maybe it could be like a change in wording. So instead of voting for like your favorite couple, maybe it's like vote for your, I mean, I guess that's kind of bad, vote for your least favorite couple. But I feel like if they approached it that way, then I don't think Ace and Chelley would have been gone. I don't know. Huda has her fan base. It's crazy. She has I checked yesterday, 3.2 million followers on Instagram. She is the most followed contestant on this show. 3.2 on Instagram. Amaya, when I checked yesterday, was at 2.8, but she is doing a Call Her Daddy interview. Basically went straight off the flight from Fiji to the Call Her Daddy studios. So I foresee after she's done Call Her Daddy, or after that's released, I can foresee her hitting 3 million on Instagram. So it's crazy to me. Like the Huda stands, I don't get it. I literally don't understand. And the fact that Huda and Chris came in third over Iris and Pepe is wild to me. And it just goes to show, though, like her fan base, like their stans, they are really just, I don't know, I don't get it. Even though her and her partner just really didn't like each other, it didn't matter. They're like, we need Huda to win because she deserves that 100K. Look, like she has a daughter, so yeah, I'm sure she can obviously use that 100K. I mean, when you think about it, it's 50K if they just split it, 25K after taxes. So it's like, okay, yeah, she can use the money, but the money that she's going to make outside of Villa is way greater than that. So she'll be fine. And I really just don't think her and Chris deserved to, first of all, even just be in the finale, let alone get in third place. It was crazy to me. So let's get into the finale because there was a lot of tea. Like it was spicy for a finale. And obviously going to the finale, we knew that Iris and Pepe were, as strong as they could be. And we had Amaya and Brian, who I was certainly rooting for. And let's just put it here. I am so happy that Amaya and Brian won the season. They deserved it more than anyone, in my opinion. And you look, I've put out a few reels and people are like, well, why Amaya? Why Amaya? Why are you so persistent that Amaya should win? Who else do you want to win? Like, okay, yeah, sure. Iris and Pepe have a connection as well, but they haven't really, like, they're kind of just there. Even though I really like Iris and Pepe, and I don't think that they should have gone fourth. Like, if you're actually thinking about the formula of the show and who technically deserves to be, in first and second, whatever, it would be an Iris and Pepe because I actually think that they have a genuine connection. And all of these Islanders right now are doing interviews. That's the beauty of me recording a few days behind because all of the Islanders now are doing interviews and I'm seeing clips here and there. And Pepe confirmed on, I can't remember what podcast, but he confirmed that I think Iris and him are dating. And I don't know, if it's exclusive or whatever, but they are trying things out. So it's not like Iris is running back to TJ and was like, okay, Pepe, like, thanks for getting me to the finale. I'm going to run. Like, it sounds like they're dating. He didn't say a name. I don't think it's Hannah. Could it be Hannah? No, I don't think it's Hannah. So anyways, I think they deserved to not be in fourth. I think they deserve to at least, I'm going to just hot take. I did not think Nick and Olandria deserved to be in second. I'm sorry. I know there's a whole slew of Nick Olandria fans out there that think that they deserve to win. I just don't. And I think that Iris and Pepe should have came in second, but that's just me. But anyways, let's, I guess, start from memory. I think, you know, the dates, like, I kept saying to my friend, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I was home, I would have fast forwarded this. Like, okay, yeah, sure, the dates were cute. You know, you had Amaya and Brian looking at baby photos. And I mean, the spiciest date was obviously Huda and Chris. That was absolutely insane. Let's start off with Nick and Olandria's date, because I think theirs was the first one. And I mean, it was cute, right? And I think this date, like, we never really saw them in kind of like a date setting, like in a romantic setting. Like, yes, we've seen them try to kiss here and there. We've seen them in the challenges, but like they haven't really, I mean, yeah, okay, they've spent time in the villa like 24/7 together, but they haven't really had one-on-one time to actually do things and just be on a normal date. Normal, they're in Fiji, but you know what I mean. So I thought their date was really cute. And I think this is the thing, though, that was kind of bugging me a little bit, is the whole, you know, Nick Olandria, like, they received letters, or I guess like I guess it was like letters, but it was from fans, but it was like, oh, this is what the fans are saying, and oh, Nick Olandria, like, we love you guys so much, like, we think that they should be together, kind of like what the fans are saying on the outside about them, and saying like they saw how Nick looked at her since day one, and like, I think just the whole pushing them together because of what everyone else thinks, that's not gonna work in the long run, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, they need to see it for themselves. You can't, like, their families came in and they're like, oh, Nick Olandria, we love you too. Like, we see it. Like, everyone's rooting for you. And, oh, look, the public's rooting for you. And look at all the nice things that they're saying about you. Everyone wants you together, so be together. Like, first of all, that's just a lot of pressure. So when you put a lot of pressure on a couple wanting to happen, it's probably not going to happen, right? So I think they need to figure it out on their end. Nick, again, was on Chicks in the Office, and he said, like, we're not putting a label on anything. I think they're maybe trying. I think. So I don't know. I don't know what conversations he has had or is having with Cierra. Like, that's a whole other thing that is, you know, going to be pretty interesting to see play out. But I don't know. I thought it was cute that they were reading out all these really nice things that the public is saying about them. But then on the other side, I'm just like, you know, there's ulterior motives around it, right? Like, basically the producers is just really trying to push this narrative that the public loves them together and they should be together. So anyways, I thought their date was really nice. Like, they definitely have chemistry. I think they look incredible together. Like, I just kept saying, I was like, Olandria's body is just insane. Like, she's like a literal goddess. She is stunning, like, beautiful, absolutely stunning. So yeah, of course Nick would be lucky to have her, but I don't know, we'll see what happens with them. I don't know if they are going to last. I'm just curious, and I'm interested to see what happens between them. But yeah, I think overall their date was cute. They were really just trying to push the whole Nick Olandria storyline. And I mean, it led them into second place. But I knew, like, I had such a strong feeling if they weren't going to get second place, I was like, they might win. Like, the whole Nick Olandria train is very strong. And I was like, there may be a chance that they win. But then I was just like, everyone has rallied around Amaya so much. And it would just be such an incredible story for her to win, because she has had a really heck of a time in the villa. And so for her to just, you know, be rejected, and then from, you know, to Brian coming to her defense and standing up for her, the only person to do that, and then to them couple up with each other to have this really great relationship and then win in the end, I think that's a really beautiful story. And, you know, this whole season has really kind of sucked. And so I'm just happy that this really nice love story, as corny as it sounds, you know, it's just nice. It's just nice that it's not even about it being a love story. It's just about the fact that it's just Amaya, and she's just such a great person, and she really deserves to win. And I'm sure she is feeling all sorts of gratitude being the winner of Love Island season 7. So, I mean, I guess I can get into her date, but like, there wasn't really much going on. And I had a feeling. So again, I know how, like, not that I know exactly, but like I've watched enough reality TV to know kind of how production works. And after watching all 4 dates, I was like, okay, this is kind of telling, because typically when something goes first and when something goes last, that's telling. And then when the other two are like sandwiched in between, it's because you forget about those two. It's the same theory like when I used to dance. You'll always remember the first number and the last number that came on stage in like a certain grouping. Let's say there was like 6 people in a category. You'll always remember the first and you'll always remember the last, and the other groups or whatever it was sandwiched in between each other, you're probably going to forget unless it was like a super standout thing. So I took that same theory and applied it into here, and I was like, okay, well, if Nick and Andrea is going first, then, and their date was so long, I feel like their date was the longest out of all of them, and it was the most, like, I mean, aside, I guess, from Huda and Chris, but that's a whole other thing. Theirs was like, not, I don't want to say like the most extravagant, but like they got these really nice letters, and the letters from the public, and Nick got a letter from his dad. Like, I just thought there was a lot of care that went into the date. So theirs was first, and then obviously Amaya and Brian was last. And I was like, okay, this is telling, because obviously if theirs is last, then production wants us to remember how that date went, because, you know, they're going to be announcing the winner shortly after that. So to me, I was like, okay, it's between Nick and Andrea and Amaya and Brian, but like not also that like there was really anyone else going on, because we have Huda and Chris literally breaking up with each other on their final date. So let's get into it, because this was crazy, and it was so funny because the bar that I was at was just like hooting and hollering, and it was absolutely wild what went down during this date. We have never seen it before. We have never seen a couple despise each other so much, break up on the finale. And I mean, at that point, I was like, guys, can't you just leave? Like, why are you staying here? I don't know if, you know, production is like, you need to stay here. And actually, I heard something that I actually think is very accurate. I don't know if it's true. My friend told me about it. She saw it on TikTok. Someone said it. But I was like, this is a really good theory. So back a few episodes when the guys went to go play basketball, and I was like, this is kind of random. Like, they've never really sent the guys to just do a random activity before with no ulterior motive against it. Like, it was just so random for them to literally just go play basketball. So the theory is that Chris threatened to leave. Like, Chris wanted to leave. And production basically was like, no, you can't leave. You need to stay. And so they shipped them off to go play basketball to keep him happy. I buy that. Like, I actually think that's pretty accurate, and it kind of adds up. Like, it allows him to blow off steam doing what he loves doing what obviously clearly he's good at doing. And it just allows him to get away from Hurricane Huda and just have time with the boys. So I honestly, you know, there's a lot of theories going around on many different things, but I think that theory is pretty accurate. So anyways, I thought that was interesting. So they go to their date, and as they're walking up to their date, they are, you know, in a, I don't know, you have to you're walking on water, there's sand there, it's kind of messy. So, you know, the nice chivalrous guy that he is, he picks up Huda and he brings her to where they're sitting. And they start talking. And I do have to say this, though. The night before of their date, Chris is done. Like, so done with Huda. You know, she doesn't want to kiss him or have any sort of PDA in front of anyone during the day. She only wants to do stuff at night, under the covers, basically. And so the night before the date, the poor guy is trying to sleep. He's faced against her, not facing her, facing the opposite direction. And she's saying to him, like, can you turn around? Like, let's go, kind of thing. Like, I want to get stuff started. And he's like, no, like, I'm sleeping. I want to sleep. I'm not doing anything. And this girl counts him down. She's like, if you don't turn around, I'm going to give you 3 seconds, and counts him down like a mother would do to a child. She's like, 3, 2, 1. Of course he's not going to turn around. The audacity of this girl, like the literal audacity of this girl. Like, how can you talk to a man that way? And again, we see a pattern. She talked to Jeremiah like that. We said, like, she literally talked to him like he was a child. And she's talking to Chris this way. Like, I don't know if she gets off by talking to guys this way, but I don't know, the way that she treats men, it is so toxic. It is not good. And this, again, is why I don't understand why she has such a big fan base, because the way that she treats guys is actually pretty gross. And are you going to tell me that if a man treated a woman that way, that you would have the same reaction? God, no. If a man was in bed with a woman and said, I'm going to count you down to the count of 3, and if you don't turn around, whatever, 3, 2, 1, you're going to tell me that you're still going to back that person up? No. So there is a massive double standard from her fan base for whatever reason. But I don't know. I think she needs to watch this show, and I hope it's an eye-opener to see how she's reacted. I mean, obviously she's going to hear it from the people that are in her stands, that she has to figure it out, because it's not good. And I get that she's young. She has a lot to learn, but I hope this was a big wake-up call, because I think she needs help in that area. She really does. So anyways, they go to their date and he picks her up. They sit down. And this is kind of where Chris loses me. But again, like, I don't know if it's production just telling him to, like, play along with it. I also think, too, Chris sitting down and telling Huda that, like, he wants to make it work, I think is also a product of, like, I think he knows how liked Huda is. Like, I think he does, because he was watching. I mean, yeah, I guess he knows, because he was a Casa boy, so he would know how the public was feeling about Huda, seeing that her numbers are rising on TikTok and Instagram. She is the most followed female on the show. So I also just think, like, he didn't want to piss any of her fans off. Like, he didn't want to piss the public off by being like, I don't want to be with you. So I just feel like Chris has been saving face for himself. Not even saving face, but, like, just putting on an act and just being like, okay, look, I have 5 days left. Okay, thank God, I have 2 days left. Like, oh yeah, tomorrow's the finale. I can do it. Like, I'm just going to fake that I want to continue this on with her, because I genuinely just think that he didn't want to ruffle any feathers with the public, and he wanted to save face for himself. And I mean, I also think, too, like, his family coming in, being like, oh yeah, like, you guys are great, like, go for it, we love you guys with each other. Like, even the boys, which I just find so interesting, of, like, Ace saying it, like, he would go to Ace, ask Ace his opinion, and Ace has been, like, the number one critic of Huda, and even told Jeremiah, like, boy, run. But he tells Chris, like, try and make it work, like, keep trying. Brian said the same thing, like, keep trying, Chris, like, keep going. So I don't know, like, I don't know what was going on behind the scenes, if production was just trying to be like, guys, like, you need to stay together, you need to try, because if we're nearing the end, we can't just have, like, a couple just spiraling out. I don't know. But then we see Chris saying to Huda, like, I want to try. But then Huda basically saying, like, no, like, I think we should just still be friends, or I think we should just be friends, which, coming from her, is so insane to me, that she decided to want to be friends. I think she just likes being in control of every situation. And I think she knew that, maybe she just knew that Chris wasn't into her. And I think she was, you know, kind of took the signs and was like, I'm going to get ahead of it, and I'm going to end it with him, because we can all see she obviously is the dominant one, and she likes being in control. So she did that on the date. It was awkward, like, super awkward, because I feel like Chris was like, damn, like, that should have been me ending things. How did this girl end things with me after everything that she has put me through, every fiber in my being that is so angry with her. She's ending it with me. So that was so awkward and crazy that literally a couple broke up the night before the episode. What was the most insane part though is a singer comes on and starts singing. Like, again, like this was a page out of the Bachelor's book. This always happens on one-on-one dates with the Bachelor. They start singing and then they go up and they dance and then there's fireworks. Like, that is literally like the formula to this. And they're just literally staring into dead air when this singer comes on. Why would production do that? Like, production, I mean, I know why they did it because it was incredible television, but like, I guess too, like maybe did they fly the singer? I'm going to be honest, because I was watching at a bar and it's I don't know who this singer was. I don't know if they were a famous singer. I don't know if they were well known. I don't know. So if they were well known, I'm sorry. I was watching at a bar. Like I'm just impressed that I already remember all of this stuff. And there were no subtitles. Okay, that's another thing wrong, is that they couldn't get the subtitles to work. So I was trying to listen very intently, but again, I was at a bar. So anyways, with this singer coming on and them staring at each other, they couldn't even look at each other, staring into dead air. It was absolutely incredible A+ television. Wow. So then, and the funny thing is like on this show, they're not really allowed to drink. So every single evening, they're allowed, I believe it's 2 glasses of red or white wine, and that's it. So if you can see on these dates, all of them got champagne, and they are just downing the champagne, like every single one of them, because they haven't been allowed any other alcohol other than wine, and that's it. So, I mean, after 6 weeks of straight wine, I'm sure you're looking for something else to drink. So anyways, I thought that was absolutely hilarious that everyone's just like chugging the champagne. And then you see them, okay, basically be like, we need to get the heck out of here because this is just, what are we really doing here? I can't even talk to you anymore. They get up, and this is the best part. And Huda's like, are you going to carry me? Because remember, he carried her in. And there's sand, there's water, like you have to walk through a whole thing to get there. And he looks at her and he's like, I'm not carrying you. And he walks off. My God. The bar erupted when that happened. That was wild. Wild. Like crazy. Huda takes off her shoes, gets the bottle of champagne, and walks over. My goodness. Like, that was some incredible television. 10 out of 10, 12 out of 10. It was so good. So good. But again, it's like, okay, we have this couple that literally hates each other in the finale, and they get third. Like, literally what? And what I thought was so funny is now when they get to the night of the finale, when, they're all dressed up, and here's the thing. I don't understand why they changed this format, because we have always seen the girls going into the dressing room, picking out their dresses, like seeing that. Like, I don't know why they didn't show that this season. Like, I don't know. I like watching that. Like, they getting excited, like getting ready. Like, we didn't see any of that. It was literally just the guy sitting on the couch, like looking all good. And then the girls one by one coming in. So anyways, fast forward to when they have to say the nice things about each other. I literally was like, is Huda and Chris just not going to participate? What can they possibly say about each other? Like, literally, I was shocked when they got up. I was like, how is this going to go? Like, what are they going to say? I did think, though, that they did a really good job in finding positivity in each other. I do think they, like, in retrospect, like, out of the terrible evening that they just had, and to all the things that they said about each other that was positive, I thought that was nice. Obviously, I'm sure, like, they got help from producers, I'm sure, right? Like, Chris is probably like, I have nothing nice to say. I don't want to say anything, but I'm sure they're like, no, like, you need to say something. Throw it into ChatGPT, boom. I thought what everyone had to say was really nice. And the interesting thing, too, watching it at a bar, is you can tell how the public is feeling or rooting or against someone by obviously like their reactions. So Huda comes out first, and I have to say this. Look, I can say everything that I want to say about Huda, but she is a really beautiful girl. I think, yeah, okay, her lashes are a little bit too much, but she walked out there and people like were gagged. They were absolutely like screaming for her because of how good that she looked. And it's interesting because that happened. And when Iris came out, no one really said anything. Like, yeah, Iris is a beautiful girl. I love Iris. I think Iris is a solid girl. But the rooting for people in the bar wasn't like, oh my God, you look incredible. Like, yeah, it is. But it's also like, who are they rooting for? You know, like, oh, you're so excited to see the person that you're rooting for get all dolled up and dressed up for the finale. So when people weren't rooting for Iris, I was like, okay, that's telling. Because, you know, obviously it's just a little snippet of the people in the bar, but I think it does relate into actually who were the final four was. And I mean, when Olandria walked out, the bar was just like, you could hear the screams, I'm sure, from outside. Like, that's how loud everyone was screaming. I mean, rightfully so. She looked incredible. I think Nick and her look amazing together. I really do. I just don't know if it's going to work. I don't. But I guess we'll see. And I think I can't wait. And I think that's one of the things that I actually do want to talk about. Like, I mean, look, like, as much as I can say this season was a dud and it was boring, like, I am invested in the people on the show. So what I find is interesting is, like, they're now going on all these podcasts, like, kind of, like, dissecting what they're saying on the podcast. Like, I say it all the time, reality television, like, yes, you get one side of things on TV, but then the whole other side of social media is a whole other thing. So I also think it would be really interesting to also just, for me to talk about what's going on social media with these people and what they're saying on podcasts, especially right now, because it's relevant. So anyways, needless to say, look, I am so happy for Amaya, Papaya, and Brian that they won this season. I think obviously Brian is the one that took the $100,000 card. And I mean, did we really think that he was going to take the money for himself? No, 100% not. Like, anyone would be crazy to do that because you would be like the most hated person in America if you did. But he obviously split it with Amaya, and we'll see what happens with them. Like, I am invested in their story. I really am. I think Brian is a genuinely good guy. I really think he has the best intentions with Amaya. So we'll see. You know, the villa is one small little bubble, but now they have, you know, they're outside and now they have a whole life to live. So I could not be more thrilled who the winners were. I'm super happy for them. They deserve it. And seeing their reactions when they all got their phones, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there's this video, I believe it was posted by Love Island, and it was just the Islanders' reactions of them getting their phones and them seeing their following and the support on TikTok and Instagram. And it was just so nice to see Amaya. Like, I just, you know, you talk about gratitude, and I mean, I think she is just the number one person that is just takes every single follower that she has and is truly so thankful for every single follower that she has and every single supporter that she has. Like, she is just such a genuine person. And then to see her, you know, feel like she's like, really, like, me? And it's like, yeah, like, you're just such a great person. Like, we love you so much. Like, you deserve it. You know, go get your brand deals, go get all this, like, go on Call Her Daddy. Like, the opportunities are going to be endless for her. I am very excited to see what is in store with her. So overall, look, this season, I have been saying it wasn't the best season, maybe one of the worst seasons. I'm being honest, it was definitely one of the worst seasons of Love Island I have ever seen. There were so many things that we didn't get this season. Like, even Casa Amor was absolutely terrible. I thought it was super boring. Nothing spicy happened in Casa Amor. You had no movie night. You had no Twitter challenge. Like, there was just so many key moments and things that all of us genuinely look forward to on Love Island that just wasn't there this season. And then obviously, not to mention the two people that came and left the villa because of what they said online. So that's a whole other thing. And I think I've seen somewhere that, you know, they're going to start doing background checks. Like, you're going to start after 7 seasons to now do background checks. Like, my gosh, it's crazy to me. They need to hire, like, I swear, just like internet sleuths to be like, okay, here's our finalists who we think we want to put onto the show. Now just sleuth the internet for them and see if you can find anything. And I'm telling you right now, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find something about at least one of the contestants. So anyways, I think I'm going to watch the UK version because I'm seeing like positive reactions from it. I'm definitely not going to be recapping the UK version because that I just can't. Like, I just can't. Like, there's like 50 episodes of the UK version. No, thank you. I'm sorry. So I'm going to watch it for my own enjoyment, my personal enjoyment, but that's about it. So anyways, like I said, overall, not the greatest season. I'm looking forward to watching Beyond the Villa because I think, again, we were also invested in those characters. I mean, they're not characters. Those people from last season. So I'm excited to see them. I know people have said they miss Cordell because he's not in it. I think he's filming another show. So anyways, looking forward to that. And like I said, I just really need to figure out on my end what shows I do want to recap. I think, you know, I love every single show that I watch. And I'm like, I do want to recap it. But I'm like, it also has to make sense for me. So let's see. It'll be a surprise. The next episode that comes out, it'll be a surprise what I end up starting to recap. I definitely don't want to just do one show like what I did with Love Island. The reason why I had to do one show is because, like I said, this was on 6 days a week. And, you know, I was already putting out 3 podcasts and almost all of them were like 45 minutes to an hour. I think all of them were. So how, you know, just me, full-time job, you know, all the things. So I'm going to figure it out. But like I said, the next episode, it will be a surprise and you'll know exactly what I will be recapping. So anyways, thank you all so much for listening to all of my Love Island recaps. I have had so much fun doing it. It was, you know, I learned a lot recapping a show that is on so many times a week for 6 weeks. I learned a lot. I think, I don't know, I don't want to use I got better at it, but I think I did. Like, it allowed me to record more, so you get better at it. It becomes, you know, easier and all those things. So anyways, I think it was good. And I think it taught me a lot. I learned a lot. And it also, look, I got a viral video out of it. So anyways, that'll do it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode. Please rate, subscribe, review, do all of the things. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at yourrealitycheck.pod. And I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye.